What are our thoughts about the LGBTQ community? We are going to address that question on today's video. What our reaction would be if one of our kids came to us to talk to us about maybe they like the same gender. We had the maturation video go out a few days ago, and we had a ton of comments on there about one thing that Sarah said, and that was the question when she asked Savannah if she likes boys yet. And that question has piqued a lot of other questions, and even some critiquing from people as to why she would ask if she just likes a boy and not a girl. And so we have decided that we are going to address that question on today's video. The question is, what are our thoughts about the LGBTQ community? That's a question that's not easily answered. This is a question that's quite complex, actually, because it's like there's a lot of people that think one direction, and then there's the other, another person would think completely the opposite. And I'm sure that in the LGBTQ community, there's even different thoughts on how to answer that kind of a question. So we're going to address that today, and it's not just going to be me. It's just not just going to be Sarah. I think we'll take this opportunity to talk with our kids about it as well. Sarah's sister is she got back from her mission this week, and she gets the opportunity to speak in a sacrament meeting in church, and so we're going to go and support her for that today. Sunday attire, everybody's getting ready, and we're up a few hours earlier than normal. Anyway, my first thought, I guess, would be that since it's Sunday and since our focus is very heavily on Christ and His atonement for us, is that Christ taught us to love everyone, and that's what we should be doing, right? So the question in my mind is why is it such a controversial issue? And then when I think about it more and more, I think it's so controversial because I think that people who are in the community are looked at as different. Like physically, are we any different?
No.
Like they come from all over the world, right? And it's not specific to one area or one culture. And you can't like physically see from the outside typically the difference.
We're all men and women. We're all born the same. We came into this life the same way.
Everyone.
We all have a body. We have arms and legs, hands and feet. All of us are the same.
So what's the controversial issue? So I think for me, at least this, in terms of I think about it, not me personally, but when I look at the world, I think people who are not of that community think that, so straight people think that people who think differently or have different preferences should be the same as them. And then people in the LGBT community think that everyone who is straight should be more open-minded themselves. And so it's a judgmental piece overall about a person's individuality. And that's the thing we have to be very careful of. Like I said, being like Christ is to not judge another. And so should I be, because I am attracted to a woman, should I be telling other people that they should not be attracted to men if it's a man? In being taught to be like Christ, we are taught to love everyone no matter what, right? How's that for tie and talking? So if we're to love everyone no matter what, then what does it matter? What does it matter if of someone's preference? Well, apparently it matters a lot. Otherwise, you guys wouldn't be asking.
The most beautiful gift we've been given in this world is our differences. We are all different. No one in this world is the same. No one has the same eyes, hair, skin, nothing. No one in this world is the same, and that is a beautiful gift.
I want this shark.
Oh, that shark?
Yeah.
Which one?
That one.
This one?
Yeah, that's not a shark.
Okay, that's a shark. Ready to roll?
Yes. Why is it on Sundays it's so hard to wake up than any other day?
I know, right? Wait, what time did we even wake up?
Like 7 something. I woke up at 6 because Charlie was jumping around.
Charlie, you love snuggling him until he comes in and slaps you in the face and rubs his butt all over your face and stuff. You still love it snuggling him though, right? Mm-hmm. I love snuggling him.
There's actually a lot of people that have like said and think that I've heard this statement many times. They're like, there are so many more. This is such a widespreading problem. Which, number one, that statement is terrible in itself. But they say this is a growing problem. This is such a growing problem. There's so many more gay people now than there ever was.
We're in the car, rock.
So sorry, the camera's rocking. So my answer to that is, and again, all of these are our opinions and thoughts. And so again, in the comments, let us know your thoughts, because this is something that we want to be talking about more, because it's about people, and we're not talking about cars or our preference on a house style. We're talking about people. And anyway, here are my two thoughts. Number one, there are a lot more people in the world now than there were in the 60s, 70s. Number two, I've known people that are gay my whole entire life. Like, I had an uncle that was gay. To me, it wasn't really even a big thing. Whoa. And that's what happens when you stop at red light. There's a lot more people in the world, right? But number two, and probably even more important, is that people are a lot more open now.
Yeah, so many things weren't talked about then. I mean, look how long it took people to get over slavery and having black people in our community. They're
people. Those were all people. And so it's the thoughts of people that are changing. It's not people themselves. And so we got to be very careful
now, I think, and open-minded.
Yeah, so we have to be very careful about how we think, right? And how we judge people. So we're a lot more open-minded now, and it's talked about a lot more, and it's very unfortunate, but when we were kids and before, it wasn't talked about, and so it was very shamed. It was looked at as very, if you think it's looked at now as a negative thing, back then it was even more so. And so it's becoming more and more accepted because people are talking about it more, and that's one of the biggest reasons why we are willing to address this question on our channel, and we've been talking about it for about a week now, is because it is something that is being more and more talked about. And I see some of the comments and I get feeling very irritated and aggravated, not at the comment itself, but just at the fact that we have to keep talking about it in such a negative way. And so that's why we're addressing it in a different way. So one of the other big questions that came up about this was, once again, it was a lot of people were triggered because of how Sarah said, Savannah, do you like boys yet? And so the question now is, one of the other questions that was asked was, why didn't you ask her if she likes girls?
I made a snowflake.
What?
I made a snowflake.
Oh, how did you do that? Can you show me how you did it?
You put it on the paper.
Oh my goodness, Majikino! Why do you guys always cry when you say goodbye?
I know, right?
Always crying. And it's okay, girls can cry and so can boys.
We only get to see each other every 6 months.
Are you taking them to the airport?
You live here.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Love you. Fly safe.
Sarah's sister and her kids just left back to go to their home in Arizona. and it was fun to have him here.
It was fun. So sad when they have
It's
to
always
leave.
sad when family has to leave and everything gets broken up.
I know, but look at this. Savannah drew us this picture. Look, it has me and Johnny kissing, I guess, on our wedding.
Can you see it in there? 'Cause
And then baby Branson, and then Lizzie and Canyon and Az and Savannah and Danielle and Allie and Branson.
Whoa.
All in that picture. Can you see it, Johnny?
Yeah. My eyes just went cross-eyed. By the way, the homecoming was awesome, and LS Talk was awesome. And we have tired little kids now, and they're all gonna go take a nap, and they're fighting it really hard. Okay, so that question, once again, to answer that question, pick up where we left off earlier. Why didn't Sarah ask Savannah if she's liking girls? Why is it that Allie, and these are questions that we've had come up, why isn't it not okay for Allie to ask a girl out to the dance? Well, we never said otherwise. Like,
When
that's
we
the thing where
talk to our kids-
there's a lot of assumptions being made because we didn't say. It's like me saying I don't like apples, or I like apples, and everybody getting on and saying, well, why didn't you say something about oranges? Well, because I said I like apples. This has nothing to do with orange. So I guess what I'm trying to say, and please don't take me wrong on this, I'm not trying to be ignorant, I'm not trying to be a jerk, I'm trying to be completely clear and honest about it. If one of our kids comes to us, and this helps answer one of the questions, maybe I'll answer a little bit more later about what our reaction would be if one of our kids came to us and they had decided that they wanted to talk to us about maybe they like the same gender. We'll answer that later. We need to think about that a little bit more.
But when we have these kind of talks with our kids where we're talking about getting older or dating or all those things, we talk to them about liking the opposite gender because that is who they are. That's what they like. We're not asking everybody in the world what they would do on a date. We're asking our family and we're documenting our family, and so that's why we're asking those kind of questions. If we were asking all of you, we would word it differently, but because we're talking to Savannah or Danielle,
Our kids that we know very well. That brings up the question again. So I don't think it's fair at all for people who are straight, I guess, labeled straight, to think that people who are gay should go straight. And I don't think that people who are gay should think that people who are straight should ever look and explore to being gay. I don't think that's right at all. Just because you are one or the other, or any one of the gay, straight, lesbian, all those. If you're one of those, that doesn't make you. I mean, it's uniquely you. It's not. It doesn't mean that your neighbor or your friend has to be the same way. And so I guess what I'm saying is, we believe that. And again, this has nothing to do with religion. This has everything to do with who we are as people. We believe that everybody has the right and responsibility and the ability to make choices for themselves. And so we, more than anything else, if you take that part out of it, we try to give our kids the opportunity to make decisions for themselves, and we do our best to support them. And so
and if
the
you're
questions,
gay, you can hang out with straight people. And
some of my most favorite people in the world are of this group, gay, lesbian, or whatever, because I think it's because they went through, and I feel bad in a certain sense, but I also feel good about it. They had to go through a time where they were scared of something and telling people that they were different, and so they had to come out, and they call it coming out of the closet. They had to come out and actually state that to the world or their family in fear. But once they got over that, then they can be like impeccably honest about everything else, and they can just be themselves. And it's so cool to see people just be themselves. And so that's why they're some of my favorite people to hang out with, because they've already gone through the really hard times of becoming who they are and finding out who they are. It's just really neat. So the question still stands. What would we do if one of our kids came to us and said, hey, one of our daughters came to us and said, hey, I actually don't like boys. Or one of our boys came to us and said, hey, I actually don't like girls. What would we do? We are having the Missionaries over for dinner tonight, and we just got up from over our naps. We had an Sunday afternoon nap, which I love, but it's so hard waking up and it's hard getting the kids up. And Sarah and I are going to pick up the Missionaries right now, the sister missionaries, just like Branson. They come from places all over the world, and they come here to teach the gospel to people who are interested. And so anyway, Sarah and I get to work with them. And so we are going to have them over for dinner tonight. We're so excited. And Sarah, we better go. We're late.
Tonight we were able to have the sister missionaries over. Sister Thompson just started her mission this week. And you're from?
Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha, Nebraska. And Sister Ronaldo, you've been out how long?
I've been out for 6 months.
Oh, that's so great. And we've loved having them here with us, and they're helping us to find ways to serve others, giving us ideas of service, because they serve all day long, and they're doing the same things that Branson is doing in France, and we're so grateful to have them and to know them and to spend time with them and work with them. Thank you, sisters.
Merry Christmas! Hashtag Black World.
So we also want to give them an opportunity, because if Branson were in a home, we would hope he'd have the opportunity to share a message. That's what they came here tonight to do, is to share a message with us. But we also want to give them an opportunity to share a message with you.
Hi, we're your sister missionaries of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and we love Christmas season. And as missionaries, we invite you this Christmas to give as He gave.
Yeah, just give as He gave, and just share what testimonies you have and what you feel is right. Enjoy the Christmas spirit.
That's easy enough, right?
Yeah.
Give as He gave, right? Is that the message?
Yeah.
Yeah, give as He gave. So Christ gave so much, and we can give so much by just giving just a little, right? So maybe you can go and send a text to someone really quick and just say, don't even tell them who you are, and maybe it's a family member or a friend, and just say, you are worth it. And just remind them of their worth, right?
Yeah.
Something
Light
like
the
that.
world.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Light your community, light your family, and light your faith during this Christmas season.
Yes, awesome. Thank you. Isn't this cool? Like, we get to work with missionaries just like Branson gets to work with people in France. They're all over the world.
Yeah.
Whenever you see missionaries with these tags on, just like Branson has, make sure you say hi, because they are just like us. They're people just like us. They're just
We're
out
normal.
trying to. They're normal people. They totally are normal. But they love everyone, so just make sure you're saying hi. Give them the opportunity to meet your awesome face. So we decided, instead of just sending a message of light the world, that we were going to go light the world a little bit, which means, go do something for someone. So we decided to do what? Take some cookies to friends, and Danielle's actually going to put on the Grinch costume.
Yeah.
And do some deliveries. So we decided to do one for one person that we know could use some love right now, and then we're like, hey, what about this person? Okay, so we drove back to the house to get more cookies, and then we just drove away and went, what about this person? So we're gonna deliver to 3 houses, to people that we love and care about, and just a fun little way to deliver some cookies, right?
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Danielle, let's get you involved in this thing.
Yeah.
LGBTQ, what does it mean to you?
I'm not against it, but I'm also not part of them because I made the decision and I have the feelings for that I'm attracted to guys more than.
She just loves boys.
Yeah, I just love boys. But I don't.
No, what are your thoughts are? Like, I want to know what your thoughts are on it. Like, what?
I don't think of the people who are part of it as bad. Like, I don't think of them as different because they're just like the same as me, but they have different opinions and they have different feelings, and sometimes those feelings are things they can't really control. And so my feelings on it is just like, they're not negative feelings. They're just neutral.
So what do we teach? What do we teach, and what do we like to talk about, no matter what?
That people are worth it.
That people are worth it, right? And so it doesn't matter. It really, I don't know if we can stress this enough. It really doesn't matter what your preference is. You are a human being. You are important. You are a human being, and that's really all that matters. And so let's talk about. We still need to answer what we would do if, like, Savannah came to us and say, well, wait a minute, what about liking boys? I know there's some that's been offended. I even looked at some comments just recently, and this girl said, I'm a lesbian and I'm offended by this. I'm triggered by this. Well, if I said, Savannah, do you like girls? Then someone who is straight would be offended. So really, let's just stop being offended and let's start looking at it for what it is, which is really like we're experiencing our relationships with our kids specific to who they are. You who posted that and said, I'm a lesbian and I'm triggered by this, my question to you would be completely different. I would ask you something completely different, or we would have a completely different conversation, at least in terms of what that was. But it wouldn't change your worth, it wouldn't change your value, it wouldn't change my feelings for you, and it wouldn't change any of those things. Let me just tell you what we judge by, just so you know. We teach our family and we work ourselves to judge by what, Sarah? By color of skin?
No.
By what?
We judge by whether someone treats us well or if they treat us horribly. It's the kind of person that you are. And it's not the kind of person that you look like, it's not the kind of person that you sound like, it's not the kind of clothes you wear. That's not what we judge off of either. If you come and kick us in the face, we're gonna say, hey, you're a jerk. That's what we would judge by. If you come and give us a hug, that's a great person and we love them. So it's all based on what kind of a person you are. And if we don't agree on something, it doesn't mean that we would hate you. If I like pizza and you like lasagna or lettuce, I wouldn't hate you for that. And I would hope you wouldn't hate me for that.
Yeah, and so another thing that this kind of brings up a little bit is the LGBTQ community. They call it, like we call it as community, but it's really not a community separate from any other community that we are as a people. We have to be very careful not to judge that as a separate entity from people. It's just not. What Sarah's saying is we judge by your character, not by your color of your skin or your preference or any of those things. It's by your character. And so if your character is such that you're out taking advantage of people and being a jerk to people and robbing and stealing and doing all these different things, we judge by your character at that moment. That doesn't mean that you can't change. And that doesn't mean that judgment would change, at least from my idea, but we judge from character. So character has nothing to do with your preference. Nothing, zero. There are some incredible people in this world, and their preference is completely different than mine or somebody else's, and it's okay. It's all about how you treat other people. So when I see people marching very respectfully and trying to get attention in the LGBT community, I have high respect for that. But when they're breaking stuff and I shouldn't say them, any community or anybody who's doing something to try to get attention, they're breaking stuff or whatever, I'm immediately like, come on, guys. That's the character, that's the problem. I might be getting into this too deep. You really probably wanted just to hear the answer of what we would do if Savannah or one of our daughters asked, or if one of our sons asked, well, what about if I have these kinds of feelings? What would we do? That's the big questions. A lot of people think just because we are of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints that we have a certain opinion, and that's just being very judgmental, and we have to be careful of that. What would we do?
We will fall asleep when we are watching the movie.
You what?
We will fall asleep when we are watching the movie.
Yeah.
You will fall asleep?
No, we will.
Ah, the Grinch is in the car with us.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Daddy, the Grinch is in the car is us.
Yay, I like that. So we will fall asleep?
No, we will.
We will fall asleep during the movie?
No, we will.
Oh, we won't.
Yeah.
Did you know I love that word? I love the word won't. I love the word won't.
Kids just make things so simple.
Yeah.
Look at that belly.
Scary Grinch. Oh, it's gonna feel so
Everybody
good
hop
when we
out
get
and be
outside.
quiet.
I love that costume.
Who is that? You scared the crap out of me.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Okay, you have to tell me what's in these presents right here, okay? Oh my goodness, are you serious?
Look at my toes.
Is it cool?
Oh my goodness.
Is it cool?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
No, this keeps me really warm. Like really warm.
Amazing. Did you get them yourself?
Oh, my feet? No.
Okay, tell Canyon. He wants to know.
It's diamond bath bomb.
No, don't say it.
No brushes.
So cute. All right, Allie's not feeling well tonight. She ate bad food and now she's
Super sick.
yeah, she ate stuff this morning. So back to our little conversation, guys.
You go ow, ow, ow. He's pulling my hair.
Does it matter what color your skin is?
Nope.
Is it important? It's important to people. It's important to you. It's important.
Yeah.
But does it matter and make a difference in your value?
and your worth and who you are.
Nope.
And how you treat other people.
Nope.
Does it matter anyone's preference whether they like a boy or a girl?
Nope.
It doesn't. That's the whole point. So, to answer the question that keeps coming up on our videos, especially about dating and all those other things, what would we do if Allie came to us and said, I am interested in girls? Well, we're well past that with Allie because she's already highly interested in boys. And we're past that with Branson because he's interested in girls. What would we do if Savannah came to us and said, well, I like boys? What would we do, Savannah? Or girls, I'm sorry. What would we do? What do you think we would do?
I don't know. Maybe like talk me through it, maybe.
What do you mean talk you through?
Like help me understand. Like, I don't know. Like.
Good question. It's a really good question.
Yeah.
Sarah and I have talked about this before. Talk about it all the time. We've just never had to deal with it. I think it's the same as when Branson came to us and he was interested in girls. It's the same as when Allie came to us and she was interested in boys. Same as when Danielle was interested in boys when she came to us. It's the same thing. It's no different. We would not treat them any different. We would not judge them any different. We would ask them what their feelings are, what it's all about, and we just want to make sure that they're being honest with their feelings and their intent. And so again, we are asked that all the time, and the answer is always going to be the same.
We are gonna love our kids no matter what.
It doesn't make it. It doesn't change the fact that we're their parents, and it doesn't change the fact that they're our kids, and we don't believe in disowning someone because of something that they believe in, or because of who they are, because of the color of their skin. None of that matters to us. Like it should never matter to anyone. And by the way, it shouldn't matter to people that we have an opinion, and it shouldn't matter to us if someone else has an opinion. That's the beautiful thing about this whole entire world that we live in, that we're all different, is we can all have opinions.
We're not going to judge you for who you like, and we hope you won't judge us for who we like. We all are in this world together trying to figure out who we are and who we're supposed to be, and that's what matters. I'm not trying to figure out who Johnny is. I'm not trying to figure out who you are. I need to figure out who I am and how I can teach them to be who they need to be.
So, good questions. Thank you for asking. I hope that this video helped you guys understand a little bit of our views on things. And our views are always going to be focused on not the visual appearance, but the act. And when I say the act, I mean I mean the character. So if Kenyon's being naughty right now and he hurts Savannah, and he does it on purpose, he's going to stand in the corner for it. That's just the way it works. He's going to have consequences. But if he's just goofing around, they have fun, and someone accidentally gets hurt, that's what happens. So we go off of character, not looks. Like, we cannot stress it enough. It does not matter what the color of skin is, what their sexual preference is. It just matters not. And I don't mean it's not important. It's absolutely important. But it's not. It matters not in their worth. It matters not in our relationship. It matters not how much we care about someone or not care about it. That part does not matter. That's what we're trying to say. We hope this helped you guys understand a little bit more. Please, in the comments below, let us know your thoughts and feelings on it. Let us know. We're not perfect, by the way. We're not perfect, and so we may have missed some question. We may have missed something here with this.
And hopefully we didn't say anything that's triggering.
Yeah, we don't want to trigger.
That's not our intent with this.
Our intent is to let you know how we feel about things, and we were just answering a simple question. And so, once again, if you have questions on this, let us know more. And if we missed something, let us know. A lot of these questions came from your personal experiences, and we appreciate that. Mm-hmm. But let nothing we say make you feel like you need to defend yourself, because once again, you don't need to defend yourself. You are you, and that's important, and that's awesome, and that is why this is so important to us. We want to make sure that you never forget, and you always remember that you are
worth it. We love you guys.
Thank you. We love you.
Bye.
Night.